Hey YouTube viewers, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Anita. Thank you for viewing at my channel, Kindlespices. Today I'm going to be making pho ga, which is Vietnamese chicken noodle soup. And so I have all of these ingredients laid out here for all of you to see. These are some spices that I'm going to be putting into the broth. We have Star Anise, cinnamon sticks, and some these are the stems that are from the green onions. And so we're going to go ahead and grill these first and then put this into the broth, so the aroma and the tasteness that comes out from the broth is going to be very heightening. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn on this stove. We're going to put this stove onto a medium to high heat, just so that way we can put a little bit char onto it and get a little bit of crispiness coming out from it. And then after it looks a little bit crispy and burnt, then we're going to take it off and then we're going to put it into the broth. So what I like to do is I like to just put my hand over the stove because you can feel the heatness from it. And then once you leave it like on for about, I would say, a minute or two, then you can start putting it on there. When you smell this, you can smell it. It has a very good scent to it. And the star anise is, if you get it as a whole, then it's more fragrant. And you can hear the sizzle coming out from it. So you just want to leave it on here for about a good 3 to 5 minutes, I would say, until you see some brownness coming out from it a little bit. If it looks a little bit burnt, that's fine. That's what you want, because when you see it getting burnt, you'll smell the aroma out of it becoming a little bit more stronger, and that's actually what you want to put into the broth. So while I leave this sitting here, letting it sizzle, here we have our free-range chicken. You want to get as a whole. You get it at any Asian market. It ranges between like $15 to the minimum to $20. Right here, I got the $20 one, which is about 4.5 pounds, because the bigger it is, the more meat it'll have in there. These are our onions here. One will be put into the broth, and then another one I'm going to finally chop it down to strings, and it's going to be a garnishment to our noodle. Here I have 2 slices of ginger. They're about thumb-size measurement to my thumb. One is going to be chopped up and put into the broth as well. And then the other one, I'm going to be making a scallion and ginger sauce that's going to be for the dipping sauce for the chicken. And then I actually want to throw this in here so it can sizzle too. Okay. And then here I have about 3 tablespoons of chicken stock. This here is basically the stem coming from our cilantro. It's dried already. We're going to put this into the broth as well for the aroma. This here is 2 sugar cubes, brown sugar cubes that I have here. I don't like to use the regular sugar cane sugars. These ones here makes it a lot more flavorful when it comes out. This here I have about 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Now in most of my dishes I like to cook with fish sauces because fish sauce makes the flavor of the dish actually comes out a lot better than as opposed to putting salt in there. So it may sound weird, but I actually do put fish sauce when I make some pastas. Likely or not, it actually comes out really, really nice. So I would recommend trying it. And then I have here some bean sprouts and cilantro, green onion, which is going to be a garnishment for our noodle after it's done. So let's take it back to our pan here and see how it's going. See, as you can see, it's actually getting a little bit more darker there. That's actually what we want. So this is done. This is exactly how I want it. And you're going to put it into this bowl here. And we're going to use this and save it for later. So now I'm going to go ahead and get the off of the ginger, basically the outside layer, and then after I get this off, I'm gonna go ahead and chop it down. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just chop off my onion. So what you want to do is you want to chop it off on the side, not too much into the middle, because you want the onion to still be a whole when it's cooking in the broth. So I'm just chopping off the ends of it and then peeling off the outer layer of the onion. There we go. Okay, and then you just want to give this a little rinse. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and make our broth. So here I have a 16-quart pan. There's about 24 cups of water in there, which is about 5.5 liter of water. So we're going to turn this on very high, and we're going to add everything in there. So we're going to go ahead and add our chicken in there first. So our chicken, before we add it into the water, you have to make sure that you rinse it down and make sure that it is clean. You want to clean out the chicken first. So go ahead and add the whole chicken in there, and then we're going to add the whole onion and our ginger and our cinnamon sticks that we just grilled, our star anise, and the stems of the green onion. Now we're going to leave this in here for about 30 to 45 minutes, and we're going to let it cook. And once it is cooked for about 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to go ahead and then take out the chicken and put it into a cold bath water. And afterwards, we're going to extract all the meat and everything off the chicken and let the soup cook for another about hour and a half. Okay? So after 30 minutes of letting our broth here simmer, we're going to take a peek and see how it looks now. So as you can see, the broth coloring is coming out a lot more from about an hour ago. So we're going to just take out the rest of the scum that's on top. And we're going to now remove our chicken. So let's go ahead and just extract all of this scum on top here. So it's only a little bit left, so not too much to extract. But yeah, as you can see, the flavoring is coming out a lot better. The coloring is so much more vibrant. Okay, so I think that's about it. So let's go ahead and take our chicken out. So right here down below, I have a water bath. We're gonna go ahead and sit our chicken in there for a few minutes. The reason why we want to do that is because we want to have the chicken, the skin of the chicken, to be tightened. Once it is tightened, it's easier to basically have a grip and chop it up into pieces. So we're gonna go ahead and just like let all our juice flow out from the chicken there. Make sure we get everything we can, and just go ahead and dump it right in. So we're gonna let that sit for, I would say, about 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes or so. Let it cool down and just let our chicken tighten up a bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and extract the meat from it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up our garnishment. So we have our onion here that I'm going to chop up into strings. And then I have our ginger here, which I'm going to also chop up. And so it'll basically be garnished into our ginger and scallion sauce that I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video. At this moment, since I took the chicken out, I'm going to go ahead and throw our chicken broth in there. The 2 sugar cubes I have here, and about 2 tablespoons of fish sauce as well. We're going to dump all of this in there all together. And this broth here is going to go ahead and simmer for about another hour so that the flavoring will come out even better after dumping all this in. So we're just gonna give this a little bit of a stir. So after this broth is finished, about another hour, we're gonna go ahead and take everything that was put into here for the aroma of the broth and the flavor out, and we're gonna go ahead and set those aside as well. It smells so good already. I cannot wait to eat this in another hour or so. This is going to be a very nice dish, especially on cold days when it's cold and cloudy outside and you just want to stay in with your family. This would be a very recommended dish to make at home. This pot I have here is about a 16 gallon of a pot here, and so this is good to feed for about, I would say, up to 6 people. Okay, so after giving that a good stir, we're gonna go ahead and chop up our onion. And after cutting that up, we're gonna give this a good rinse. So we're now gonna go ahead and chop this up into strips. So this is going to be put into our noodle later at the end when it is finished. It's basically garnishments to basically make the flavor of the soup come out a lot more as you're eating. The onions does not have to be cooked, but some people do fry their onions and also garlic too. But we're gonna go ahead and just chop this up and set this aside. Since the onion is chopped, we're gonna go ahead and do our garlic now. So my passion for cooking came a long way. I used to always eat out and spend lots and lots of money eating out. A bowl of chicken noodle soup that I'm making today could cost you anywhere between $7 to $10 depending on where you go. So I decided to, start cooking this on my own at home, and it saves you a lot more money when you do start to cook at home, and so I recommend it. It actually makes it a little bit more easier too for you, because when you do go grocery shopping and cook at home, you actually get to save your ingredients to cook more and more dishes each time. So I'm going to go ahead and finally chop this down, because this is going to be our ginger and scallion sauce for the chicken later. So you just want to put it all together again and just just finally chop it down. So now I'm going to go ahead and handle our chicken. I'm going to go ahead and chop it down into pieces here. So go ahead. This knife is not going to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and handle our chicken. We're going to go ahead and chop it down. Okay. So you just throw the pieces into a baked pan if you have one. It's all nice and tender. The wings fall off very nice and easy, so you can just peel it off and give it a good twist, and it should come right off. You see all that meat and tenderness? Wow, this is so juicy. I cannot wait for the finishing details. Chop this into half. Now when you handle this, handle it carefully, because you're gonna have to chop very hard into the bone, and so make sure you don't want to cut yourself. Cut in half. Got it there and there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and peel the meat off. And what I do is I like to just, break it down. And then when you put it into your noodle, your soup later, it'll just be already broken down for you to eat easier. Now making this whole process takes about 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours. So you have to be incredibly patient to cook this. And so our next step, we're gonna go ahead and cook our rice noodle. So there's different types of brand of rice noodle. The one that I have is Ban Pho. There's also the Three Lady rice noodle as well. But this one here, I actually like it a lot more. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start up our pot here. And we're gonna go ahead and just get this a little bit warmed up. Put it on to medium to high heat, and as it boils on the medium to high heat, you're going to go ahead and lower it down to at least medium to low heat. And then you want to throw in your noodles right after. So in this pot here, I added about half a pot of water in there. That's about 12 cups of water. So that's all you'll need to go ahead and boil this noodle. Now this is a bunch, so you can just go ahead and split it, I would say down the middle or a little bit, about 25% if you like. And then we're going to put, we have in here, go ahead and put noodles in there. While this is going to be cooking, let's take a look at our broth. So when it's cooking for about an hour and a half, what you want to do is go ahead and grab like a spoon so that way you can do a taste test. And so you'll know whether you need to add more salt, more sugar to the taste to make it a little bit more heightening. Now what I'm aiming here for is more of a salty sweet taste to it. Oh my god, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Delicious. About another 30 more minutes and it is good and ready for dinner. Alright, so let's have a little taste testing and see how this goes. Ray, you want to be my little taste tester?
Yeah.
Alright, let's go. Okay, I'll let you hold it. It's a little bit warm, so blow it and make sure it won't burn you.
Let's see how it goes.
What do you think?
Oh, it's okay.
What? What?
Yeah.
It's been boiling for 2 hours.
It's alright.
Next, go. Next. Okay, so our noodle is done, and we are ready to assemble our bowl. So I'm gonna put these in first, and then I'll put the broth in. I'm gonna put all of the garnishments in first. Chicken here, a little bit of onions, and then some bean sprouts on top, cilantro, and last but not least, green onions. This is our finishing dish. You know what? I'm gonna use my hand. A lot easier. Okay. Woo, so good. Here you go, Ray. You said it was earlier. Now this is the finishing touch.
Oh, nice. Wow, that's hot. This is really good. Could use some sriracha, of course. Everything tastes good with sriracha. So I'm going to put that in. Should taste a lot better after this. Really good, really good.
And there you guys have it. Thank you for watching my YouTube video today. And please, if you like my video, go ahead and go on the bottom and click subscribe, and also leave a comment if you want me to cook something specific next week. Go ahead and let me know, and I will go ahead and cook it up.